Well, good evening, everybody. This is John Unell, aka John I Fly, from Schuylkill Haven, Pennsylvania. It's Saturday, March the 20th, and it's 10:40 in the evening. Yes, I do make them late, don't I? But guess what else today is? The first day of spring. Yes, my favorite season has arrived. And the next few days are going to act like spring. It's supposed to be highs in around 61 or 64. I'll take it. So anyway, what has been happening of late? Well, besides me getting a year older, I did get my eyes look a lot better, I think. As I mentioned before, I had an allergy to one of the drops, so on the 25th, I believe it is, I go up, have my eyes looked at. We'll see see what he says. I hope he doesn't make me go back on the drops that gave me an allergy, but hopefully he won't do that. But he told me don't throw them away. That's another story. Anyway, what has been happening in the world? A lot of stuff. It just came on TV today. Miami Beach has declared a state of emergency over the COVID fears by Mayor Dan Gelber. Now, it's spring break time, naturally, this time of the year. So it turns out that all these students have hit Miami Beach. And frankly, the city can't handle it. So they decided to put a curfew. I believe it starts tonight, 8 o'clock in the evening. And I believe the intercoastal somewhere, maybe the beach itself, they have a closing time of 9, I guess a curfew at 9 o'clock. I'm not sure all the stuff that's involved there, but they're trying to get a handle on the situation. But of course, when you have a governor that down there that just doesn't care, oh, do what you want to do. Do what you know. Hey, that's like the governor of Texas and Mississippi. Oh, let's just open up everything for business. Then he wonders what happens. Now, you mark my words, 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, you watch what happens if the COVID cases don't start climbing up. So, it says there's just too many that are coming in right now to Miami. They can't handle it. And also, you know, it must be frustrating to be as a young person. I mean, I know what it was like when I was younger. You know, hormones kick in, man. You gotta hit the town and have a good time. But when you have a pandemic like this, you just can't go out and party like you want to, you know. But there's with this pandemic comes frustration, so they're frustrated. I can understand that. It's not an easy thing to do. But, you know, if we're ever going to tackle and win the fight against this coronavirus, we have to do what has to be done. Wearing a mask, social distancing. You can't be going out in the streets and hugging each other and kissing each other, no masks. It's just not worth it. Not worth. I often wonder if these people even believe that this virus exists. They certainly act like it doesn't. I don't know. But I take Mayor Gelber's advice. He's the mayor, like I said, of Miami Beach. He goes, if people are going to come down to go crazy, go somewhere else. We don't want you. Think about that. I mean, most of these cities, towns, man, they want the business. But see, this is no ordinary year. I mean, this pandemic, this virus will kill you. It will kill you. You don't fool around with it. I think a lot of these youngsters feel that it's a joke, or it's a conspiracy. That's a favorite word, conspiracy. The older people, they don't want us to have fun, so they invent this stuff. That's like the right-wing Republican dicks. Oh, you can't take my rights from me. If you ever get a chance and you go on YouTube, check out some of the nonsense that these people do. All they're told is simply wear a mask, social distance. You can't do that to me. Can you imagine? Some of them have gotten pretty violent. Like, I saw something the other night on YouTube. This guy on purpose, he'd go in there and, shut the F up, and I'm not wearing my mask, and blah, blah, blah. And they kicked him out. Of course, I like the last scene on the video. I forget who this young guy was, but he went into the store, and the owner warned him. He said, "You need to leave my store." And he kept it up. And next thing you know, the guy pulls a pistol underneath, and you hear him pulling that slide back on the gun. He left awfully quick. But this is crazy. This is crazy. People are becoming nuts. No courtesy for the next guy. That's the problem. And it's bad enough that we're dealing with coronavirus. That in itself is a problem, the pandemic. But we still have to deal with hatred. We still are having to deal with racism. This past week, we had a terrible crime happen in Atlanta, Georgia. A young man, I believe he was 21 or 25, I'm not sure, in his 20s. He went into 3 massage parlors and massage spas, and he ended up shooting a total between the 3 of them, 3 spas. He shot a total of 8 people. He killed 8 women. 6 of them were Asian Americans. Now, there's been this controversy. Man, is this racism or what? What was behind this? Or did he just kill for the fun of killing? Or he claimed he had a sex addiction. And that's why he went in and shot these women. Man, let's get rid of these businesses so I don't have to deal with my temptation. That's the most absurd thing I've ever heard. I was talking to a friend tonight, and he said it's irregardless of whatever the reason is, it's simply murder. He shot fellow human beings, and he should be held accountable for that, and he will be held accountable for that. I'll tell you. I have here, was it a racism case? They're investigating what happened, but like my friend said, irregardless of what it was, whether he killed out of race or whatever it was, or he had his own dealings with his sexuality, or his, I guess he had a hard time controlling his sexual urges or whatever. They take it out on somebody else because they can't deal with their own problems. But irregardless, he decided Nobody forced him. He decided to go into these spas and kill these women. One was shot in the face, one was shot in the head. No mercy whatsoever. No remorse. Just went in there and shot them. And from what I understand is he bought that pistol the same day that he shot these women. The pistol that he killed these women, he purchased it earlier that day. People, I don't care what, these people in the NRA or whatever can flap their lips all they want. They're not doing too good anymore right now. I understand they declared bankruptcy a while back. But really, now that we have Joe Biden as president, and we have a predominantly majority of Democrats in the Congress and the Senate, we need to stand up and we need to make some gun control laws, regulations. They claim this guy was legal. He purchased a gun legally. I don't know what background checks, if they did anything against him or not, but he had no problem getting a gun, and he had no problem going and killing these 8 ladies. Unbelievable. Something has to be done. Something has to be done. Well, anyway, President Biden and Vice President Harris, they had something to say about this too, and they decried this acts of violence against Asian Americans, and rightfully so. Now, what did our previous president have to say about race and different? Well, he didn't have anything nice to say about it. Well, that virus, it came from China, the Kung Flu virus. The China virus, Kung Flu virus, whatever nasty words he could make. Well, what does that do? That eggs people on, especially the lowlifes that make up his base. You heard me right, that's what I call them, they're lowlifes. It's unbelievable. His base is a reflection of what he is and what he wants them to do. That's what they are. I have no use for them whatsoever. But one thing I can say about our current president, he conveys empathy again, him along with his Vice President Harris. He conveys empathy and he provides moral clarity on the topic of race. I mean, I like to say it's common sense. There's no reason, especially now in the 21st century, that we should have racism going on. There's no excuse for it, none. And I like this past week, I don't know how many of you caught it, but I know on the Blue Dot show, they took time to just, actually, I think it was in the Blue Room is where it was. Somebody played I think it was Tina V. She played the speech that Reverend Warnock, he's now a senator, along with being a reverend, he's still a pastor. I believe it's Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia. He gave one hell of a speech. If you haven't heard the speech yet, look it up on YouTube. Reverend Warnock's speech, it'll come up for you. I'm not going to go into all of it now, but he hit the nail on the head. It's just amazing. We can't, the Republican Party's been the conveyor of intolerance and all the phobias you can think of. Xenophobia, homophobia, transphobia, you name it. That's who they are. Just look at their party platform. It'll tell you what they are, what they stand for, what they despise. It's unbelievable. But anyway, you get a chance, look over, listen to his speech. And one thing, he didn't back down, man. That's what I like. You know, this is what I like about our current president, our current vice president, and what Warnock's speeches was all about, and several other people in the Congress. They don't play around. They don't pull any punches. They state the topics for what they are. Racism is racism. We don't beat around the bush and call it something else, or we don't make any excuse for it. There is no excuse for it. None. And this is about all I have for now here. But, you know, people, we live in the 21st century. You would think by now that we wouldn't be dealing with racism. I mean, think about it. It's been going on against the Afro-American people for over 400 years. That's a long time. But we got to put a stop to it. Enough's enough, you know? And that's why, and I'll stand by what I say, we can't keep voting Republicans in. I mean, maybe the day will come when the Republicans will go back to what they used to be. I don't personally see it happening anytime soon. But until then, it's the party of Trump. And that's another thing I wanted to touch on. This voter suppression nonsense. I was talking to my friend Bill Jones tonight. Really good guy. He tells me he's a good listener, and he is, but he's a good speaker too. And I enjoy talking with him. He's got a good brain in his head, and he has some good knowledge on political affairs. And frankly, he has some good common sense, so I thank you for that, Bill. And, you know, this voter suppression, I told Bill, I said, they've got a plan up there. They've got something planned here. You know, they are dying in the worst way. They want to get back into office. They want to get control of the Congress. They want to get control of the Senate. And they want to get back into the White House again. But people, we can't let them do it. I'm telling you. The Democrats are the party of progression. Progression means to go forward. Go onward and upward. If you want to go backwards, then you vote Republicans, like that example I left, what was it, about a week or two ago. If you want to go forward, vote D, put it in D. Put your transmission in D, and if you want to go backwards, put it in R. It's the truth. Republicans are backward. Democrats are forward. And right now we have a hell of a president. I mean, Joe Biden met his goal days before his deadline in getting how many people vaccinated with this COVID vaccination. It hasn't been easy, I know, here for me. Now, I'm still working on, I registered with one hospital. I go with Geisinger, so I like that hospital. And then there's another company, I have to call them Monday. Hopefully I'll get my appointment in, we'll get the first shot done, in 2 weeks get the second shot done, and I'll be set. But this president's doing a hell of a job. He's not like the last president. Oh, we have everything under control. It's round in the corner. He didn't do anything, and the time that he didn't do anything, the virus was getting worse and worse, spreading across the country until we're in the situation we're in now. Seems like it's slowly starting to go backwards, but if we don't have a consistent message, and we need to have that. We need to have commercial spots or whatever, public announcements on TV, radio, that people have to take this seriously. Remember to wear your mask, social distancing, at least 6 feet. The CDC said for schools now they can go down to 3 feet from each other for children and students going to school. Always remember to wash your hands. Always. So if you do that, that's going to help us beat this virus. And you're also showing courtesy for the next person. Like I said, I'm waiting to get my shots. So do me a favor, for anybody around me, just use common courtesy. Wear your mask, wash your hands, social distancing, and stay away from people that don't practice that. They want to kill themselves, that's their choice. Don't infect everybody else. Well, anyway, thanks for taking the time to listen. Remember to subscribe. On Yahoo, I go, or YouTube, I should say. On Yahoo, too. But on YouTube, I go as John I Fly. It's all small case letters. Johni, F as in Frank, L as in love, Y. And also I'm on Facebook under my real name, John Runell, Unell. And I thank you very much for listening to what I had to say tonight. Just stay safe, people. Hang in there, and we are going to beat this. We have a guy at the helm that he's at least attacking the problem. And he's not going to give up until we've defeated this virus. So hang in there, people, and make sure you schedule for your shots. If you're 65 or more, you're in phase 1, so get your appointment made now and get your shot. And, okay, well, I guess that's it. Be sure to leave some comments below, too. I'm interested in hearing what you think on the topics I've spoke of. And until next time, you continue to have a good weekend, and I will talk to you soon, people. Have a good night. Bye-bye now.